Hello, today we'll revisit a video that I posted 2 years ago. Having watched it again, I make no reference to the growing medium or the fertiliser that I used to grow those carrots. That was a big mistake, and that's where I made a big mistake. I'll rectify that at the end of the video. Check this out. Hello, today I'm going to be taking a bucket of carrots. The carrots look really healthy. The tops are bright green, tall, strong, but as you know with root vegetables, it's not what's on top that counts, it's what's below that counts. And we're going to say what's below shortly when we go outside. But one thing I have noticed when I've been moving the bucket is that the shoulders of the carrots are visible and some of them are big. When I say big, I mean wide, and when I say wide, I mean broad, and when I say broad, I mean fat. Now if we've got broad, fat carrots, chances are they're not very long. They'll be short. And there is something else I've spotted actually that makes me believe that this probably won't be one of my better buckets of carrots. So I've got a bit of a downer on already, and we haven't actually turned them out. Well, let's hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I know I've had problems trying to water these carrots. I generally fill the bucket to the brim because they are small buckets. I fill them to the brim with the mix, the compost, and that makes it a bit awkward when you water because the water tends to shed off the top of the bucket and down the sides. So I take my time with my watering. I do try and water from the bottom as well. I do stand the bucket in something that's holding water to allow it to soak up. I do try to get the water in there. But as I say, I've spotted something that isn't good, and it makes me believe that I haven't actually got the water into the bucket, the amount that these carrots would need for them to thrive. But hey, let's go and have a look at them. Let's see what we've got. Come on. This is something you don't want to see. Carrots that are split. That's usually a sign of irregular watering. And who's that down to? Down to the gardener. In this case it's down to me. So we're not expecting a great deal from this bucket other than misshapen and split carrots. But there's only one way we're going to find out, isn't there? There's only one way we're going to find out. So let's do it. Here we go. Took a while, but we got there. That's usually a good sign actually when there's no soil left in the bottom of the bucket. It means the roots of the carrots have got down there and got a hold of it. But when I get a look at some of these, I get the feeling they're going to be quite short. Anyway, let's have a look. Well, I think this carrot can go down as my shortest, fattest, ugliest carrot ever. What a state. Short, fat and ugly. And probably a lot of work in that carrot if you wanted to actually get some edible carrot out of it. Yeah, another one short and fat. Wow, what's this? Not as fat as the first one, but I think it beats it for ugliness. Blimey, what a state! Look at that. No, this is disappointing. It really is disappointing. Well, I've showed you some good bags of carrots over the years, and it would be remiss of me not to show you any that don't actually meet the standard. And this is a bucket that's not meeting the standard. Definitely not. I'll give these guys a clean up and we'll have a closer look at them. Only because they're so bad. Only because they're so bad. Look at that. Right, I'll give these guys a tidy up. I'll tidy the barrow, then we'll have a closer look. I've been growing carrots over a number of years, and I've been growing them in those ex-cut flower water buckets, but I've got to say these are the worst carrots I have ever grown. And yeah, I've got to show you them. I can't hide these. Can't hide them. Why would I do that? Blimey. Now there is a lot of carrot here actually. There's quite a weight in this bunch. But there's also a lot of work because of the shape of the carrots in trying to get some useful carrot from them. Let me just show you this. Just pop those there. I think I said earlier when I was harvesting these that the roots had reached the bottom of the bucket. Well, look, they have. The roots reached the bottom of the bucket. Just the carrot didn't follow the roots down. It just got fatter and fatter. Why that is, I don't know. I think I know why they split, and that was my fault. Inconsistent watering. But why they just got fatter and fatter, why they didn't get longer, I've no idea. Perhaps you can tell me. But they definitely got to the bottom of the bucket with their fine roots. Just the carrot didn't follow them down. I mean, look at that. You know what we're going to do with that. What we're going to do with that. Not a lot, by the look of it. Oh, it's giving it a hug. Let me just turn this way. Oh, come here, yeah. Come here, yeah. It's giving it a hug. I think, was that the first one out? I said it was the shortest, fattest, ugliest carrot I've ever grown. I think there might be a couple of more contenders there. Okay, I'll just pop these on the back of this barrow, get you an even closer look, and then we'll call it a day. That's them. It's got to be said, there's a lot of carrot there for a small 10-inch water bucket. It's just a pity it's so deformed. There's a lot of work in there to get some carrot out of that. But that's going to give me something to do this afternoon, isn't it? Trying to get some carrot out of this. Now what I will do is, in the text below, I'm going to give you a link to a video that I shot some years ago, just to give you confidence. If you do want to grow carrots in buckets, it can be done. It definitely can be done. I've done it year after year after year, and as I've already said, this is the worst delivery I've ever had. So there you have it. There you have it. If we're going to show our winners, we're going to show our failures. If we're going to show our good results, we're going to show our bad results. That's how we roll here at Homegrown Veg. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out. Wow, that was one ugly bunch of carrots, wasn't it? They were way below the standard, way below. Let me just show you a few screen grabs from previous years of carrots that I've grown in buckets. Check this out. So as you can see, I've got a tried and tested method of growing carrots in those small 10-inch X-cut flower water buckets. Provided I don't deviate from the script and get good results. And at the time I couldn't for the life of me think where I've deviated from the script. Crikey, there ain't that much to do. There isn't. Let me just show you what I use to fertilise my carrots, and this is all I use. There you go. Blood, fish and bone. So what do? Well, I start with soil and probably some coir and some sand, mix it together, put it through a garden riddle and throw in a slack handful of blood, fish and bone, which is a balanced fertiliser. Charge the bucket, sow the carrots, grow the carrots, harvest the carrots. In between time, all I need to do is add water from time to time. Just make sure the bucket doesn't dry out. No need for any more fertiliser at all. That slack handful of blood, fish and bone does the job. And that's what I did. That's what I did. And then, between then and now, I've had a eureka moment. I know where I went wrong. I've had that light bulb moment. I know where I went wrong. Let me put this blood, fish and bone out of the shot, and let me bring this into the shot. Big Tom. Fairly obvious what that's used for, isn't it? Surely I wasn't putting that on carrots. Surely. Well, when I've thought about this, yes I have. Yeah, I've put some of this on those carrots because what I did, those carrots were growing in buckets stood fairly close to my greenhouse. And this is what I was using, proprietary tomato feed, to feed my tomatoes. Straightforward. That's what you do, isn't it? Tomato feed for your tomatoes. That's what I was doing. But at the end of a watering session, a feeding session in the greenhouse, when I came out of the greenhouse, what was left in the watering can went over the carrots. Hey, big mistake. Gardener error, come on. There was enough fertiliser in those buckets from that bloodfish and bone. I didn't need to add anything, and it was the right fertiliser for me. It was a balanced fertiliser. This knocked it all out of kilter. This isn't a balanced fertiliser, and it's not for carrots. Now, there wouldn't be a lot left in the watering can, but nevertheless, there was enough to upset the balance of fertiliser in that bucket. That's what did for my carrots. I'm positive. I'm positive. So what can we take from this video? Well, if you've got a system that works, stick to it. Try not to deviate. When you're using a fertiliser, use the correct fertiliser. If you're in doubt, use a balanced fertiliser. Don't use a specialist fertiliser on something it's not specialised for. Don't do it. Otherwise, you finish up with the ugly bunch. If you're new to gardening, this may have saved you some worry and strife when you actually start and grow things in buckets. Keep it simple. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo the fertiliser. Don't use the wrong fertiliser. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out. Hey, big top carrots. This is the stuff. Blood, fish and bone. You better believe it.